Let's talk about the bull market. Is the bull market here? Are we in a bull market? And if so, how long will it last?
Yeah.
Is this something that we should look at? And because I guess Michael Wilson of Morgan Stanley states that his latest rally is a head fake at 4,200 level. Is he correct, or should we continue to buy at this level?
I mean, I definitely wouldn't buy the S&P 500 at 4,200 flat or above because it's a little bit too high. I like to going back to the Sam Zell thing. I like to wait for discounts, but they're pushing us up higher. I mean, the S&P opened up this year at 3909. We're at 4216 some change. And this is why I always say, regardless of war, recession, election, scandal, false positives, extinction level events that are being predicted, they are always going to find ways for the market to go up. That, I always say, the market is rigged to go up. And because if not, the number of people that will leave hedge funds and banks it would bankrupt the country. So that they are going to find ways. Now, I don't like that there's only maybe 30 or 40 companies that are of incredible value to push this up. And it's a lot of the mega caps pushing everything up. But this bull market is here to stay. Now, I always have said that the stock market is detached from what's going on in the actual economy. It's two different games. They're not a pure reflection of one another. But the S&P is up. If I look at NASDAQ is roaring too. NASDAQ opened up at 11,090. We're at 13,941. And we'll talk about the Japanese market, but the Nikkei opened up at 25,935 this year. We're at 31,000. We're clearly in a bull market. Now, will it stay? That depends on a few things, and this debt crisis is one of them. But for right now, no, we are up and it's stuck right now currently.
It's up and it's stuck. Yeah, I feel like 8 months ago we were talking about what would 2023 look like when we were talking about, well, we know that interest rates are going to stop rising at some point, and I think we might be there. If we're not this quarter, we'll find it at the next Fed meeting. We saw inflation slow down. And I remember talking about earnings, and everybody was very skeptical about first quarter's earnings and second quarter's earnings and how companies were losing money. And we've pretty much seen a lot of companies, they didn't lose too much.
Well, we got to be honest about that. They revised, even Apple.
Apple has revised. Well, they revised, but they still made nearly 100 million last quarter.
That's true. And,
right. So,
and they finally put in the iPhone sales data now, when they counted.
But even a company like Amazon, they did over 100 million. So, when we're talking about a gross pullback in some of these earnings data because of what inflation, the impact that inflation had done in 2021, and we're looking at it, is it really as bad as we thought? Is my question, or did we over try to anticipate something that was going to be extremely negative, and it's not looking that way?
Well, I'm going to give a little, I won't say pushback, but feedback. I'm going to go back to that stat I stated earlier. 35% of San Francisco real estate is currently vacant. I haven't got the numbers for New York, Chicago, and Miami. I would assume New York is probably at 20%.
Commercial real estate?
Yep. You think it's higher?
I think they said 20.
I mean, yeah. I might be more.
So in the 4 or 5 major markets, that's correction territory.
Well, here's the thing. So the crazy thing is, I live across the street from an office building, a mall, and an office building.
Do you ever see anybody in there?
They're all vacant.
Even when I go through Hudson Yards.
Anybody in there?
Do I ever see anybody?
I'm saying I don't think I've ever seen the one across from you.
The office building?
Yeah.
It used to be.
Okay.
Once COVID came, I don't think they never really reopened it. But so that's three commercial properties that are vacant.
So I mean, I think it's a reflection. I think the economy is a lot worse than what they're saying, but I think they're playing a 3-card Monte game. They're taking the companies that are doing incredibly well, overinflating some of the gains in the stock market to make it seem as if everything is stable when the overall economy is not doing incredibly well.
Yeah, the recession is secular.
Yeah.
So
now I mean, based on what you're saying, and this is what Dave Gross was saying too. Real estate is on the clock. Commercial real estate
is on the clock.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, backdrop, Bag drop.
A mic drop. Bag drop.
Bag drop.